Hey viewers, welcome to our channel. Today, we'll be bringing you our top 10 sci-fi TV shows you need to binge watch on any given weekend. Without further ado, let's dive in. At number 10 is The Expanse. 200 years from now, the solar system's been colonized, and police detective Josephus Miller's given the assignment of finding a missing woman. Meanwhile, an officer of an ice freighter sees what appears to be an unprovoked attack upon the ship by a craft from Mars. As news of the attack spreads, the incident's repercussions threaten to destabilize an already tenuous relations between Earth, Mars and the asteroid belt. The Expanse is an American science fiction television series developed by Mark Fergus and Hawk Osby, based on the series of novels of the same name by James S. A. Corey. The series is set in a future where humanity has colonized the solar system. It follows a disparate band of protagonists: United Nations Security Council member Krishna Vasarala, police detective Josephus Miller, ship's officer James Holden, and his crew, as they unwittingly unravel and place themselves at the center of a conspiracy that threatens the system's fragile state of Cold War, while dealing with existential crises brought forth by newly discovered alien technology. Number 9. Raised by Wolves. After Earth is torn apart by religious differences, and the human race teeters on the edge of extinction, an atheistic android architect sends two creations, Mother and Father, to start a peaceful godless colony on the planet Kepler 22b. The show follows Mother and Father as they attempt to raise human children in this mysterious virgin land, a treacherous and difficult task that's jeopardized by the arrival of the Mithraic, a deeply devout religious order of surviving humans. As the androids make contact with this zealous and dangerous people, they struggle to control the beliefs of their fiercely self-determining children. Raised by Wolves is an American science fiction drama television series created by Aaron Guzikowski that premiered on HBO Max on September 3, 2020. Number 8. Love, Death, and Robots is an adult animated anthology streaming television series on Netflix. The 18-episode first season was released on March 15, 2019. The series is produced by Tim Miller, Joshua Donen, David Fincher, and Jennifer Miller. Each episode was animated by different crews from a range of countries. The series is a reimagining of Fincher and Miller's long-in-development reboot of the 1981 animated science fiction film, Heavy Metal. Every single episode is intriguing and spectacular. It can be very violent at times, funny, and sad. The art is breathtaking. The writing is on point. I mean, what a unique production. Netflix definitely got something very right here. In fact, I wish there would be more quality content like this. The show delivers a variety of style and story unlike anything else, spanning the genres of science fiction, fantasy, comedy, horror, and more. This is one show you definitely want to see. Number 7. The Mandalorian, the biggest original TV series on the Disney Plus launch roster. The Mandalorian is an American space western television series created by Jon Favreau. It is the first live-action series in the Star Wars franchise, beginning 5 years after the events of Return of the Jedi and the fall of the Galactic Empire. It stars Pedro Pascal as the titular character, a lone bounty hunter who goes on the run after being hired to retrieve the child. A new chapter for Star Wars, one like we haven't seen before. First of all, you can feel the Star Wars vibe from a mile away. The beautiful world building, production, costume design, the thrilling cinematography, and the great sound editing. There are however some aspects that divide this artwork from the trilogies. The type of storytelling, for example, focusing completely on one character and making this one character so interesting. Number 6. Stranger Things. In a small town where everyone knows everyone, a peculiar incident starts a chain of events that leads to a child's disappearance, which begins to tear at the fabric of an otherwise peaceful community. Dark government agencies and seemingly malevolent supernatural forces converge on the town, while a few of the locals begin to understand that more is going on than meets the eye. Stranger Things is an American science fiction horror drama television series, created by the Duffer Brothers and streaming on Netflix. The series premiered on Netflix on July 15, 2016. Set in the 1980s in the fictional town of Hawkins, Indiana, the first season focuses on the investigation into the disappearance of a young boy named Will Byers, amid supernatural events occurring around the town, including the appearance of a girl named Eleven with psychokinetic abilities. Be sure to give this a watch. You won't regret watching this. Number 5. Westworld. This science fiction western series from Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy was inspired by Michael Crichton's Westworld from 1973, and is set at a Wild West theme park created by Dr. Robert Ford, with human-like androids, where guests are encouraged to indulge their fantasies and desires. Each environment is populated by hosts, biomechanical robots, indistinguishable from humans. The hosts are programmed to fulfill the guest's every desire, and will engage in, and be subjected to, every kind of violent and or sexual activity. However, The host's programming makes it impossible for them to harm any living thing or allow the guests to be harmed. The park's operators create narratives for these hosts to carry out while interacting with guests. But the host's memories are wiped after each narrative is completed. Delos Incorporated asserts that the hosts, being machines and therefore incapable of experiencing pain, cannot be truly harmed by these scenarios the same way that a human would be. Number 4. Rick and Morty. An animated series on Adult Swim about the infinite adventures of Rick, a genius alcoholic and careless scientist, with his grandson Morty, a 14-year-old anxious boy who is not so smart. Together, they explore the infinite universes, causing mayhem and running into trouble. The show revolves around the adventures of the members of the Smith household, which consists of parents Gary and Beth, their children Summer and Morty, and Beth's father, Rick Sanchez, who lives with them as a guest. The adventures of Rick and Morty, however, takes place across an infinite number of realities, with the characters traveling to other planets and dimensions through portals and Rick's flying car. Number 3. The Book of Boba Fett. The Book of Boba Fett is an American space western television series created by Jon Favreau for the streaming service Disney+. It is part of the Star Wars franchise, taking place after the events of Return of the Jedi, and is a spin-off from the series, The Mandalorian. The series follows bounty hunter Boba Fett from The Mandalorian and other Star Wars media as he establishes himself as the new crime lord of Jabba the Hutt's former territory. The series crosses over with The Mandalorian and its other spin-off, Ahsoka. The legendary bounty hunter Boba Fett navigates the underworld of the galaxy with mercenary Fennec Shand when they return to the sands of Tatooine to stake their claim on the territory formerly ruled by the deceased crime lord, Jabba the Hutt. This is a good show I would recommend to anybody. You need a show to binge this weekend. Binge this. Number 2. Fringe. The FBI teams up with a formerly institutionalized scientist who was performing experiments on the fringe of real science and his son to investigate weird crimes that are seemingly part of a larger pattern and may be connected with a global company called Massive Dynamic. Fringe follows the casework of the Fringe Division, a joint federal task force supported primarily by the Federal Bureau of Investigation, which includes Agent Olivia Dunham, Dr. Walter Bishop, the archetypal mad scientist, and Peter Bishop, Walter's estranged son and jack of all trades. They are supported by Philip Broyles, the force's director, and Agent Astrid Farnsworth, who assists Walter in laboratory research. The division investigates cases relating to fringe science, ranging from transhumanist experiments gone wrong, to the prospect of a destructive technological singularity, to a possible collision of two parallel universes. The division's work often intersects with advanced biotechnology, developed by a company called Massive Dynamic, founded by Walter's former partner, Dr. William Bell, and run by their common friend, Nina Sharp. The team is also watched silently by a group of bold, pale white men who are called observers. Number 1. Loki. The mercurial villain, Loki, resumes his role as the god of mischief in a new series that takes place after the events of Avengers Endgame. After stealing the Tesseract during the events of Avengers Endgame, an alternate version of Loki is brought to the mysterious Time Variance Authority, a bureaucratic organization that exists outside of time and space and monitors the timeline. They give Loki a choice: face being erased from existence due to being a time variant, or help fix the timeline and stop a greater threat. Loki ends up trapped in his own crime thriller, Traveling Through Time. Loki is an American television series created by Michael Waldron for the streaming service Disney+, based on Marvel Comics featuring the character of the same name. It is the third television series in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, produced by Marvel Studios, sharing continuity with the films of the franchise. The End. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go ahead and give these TV shows a watch. Also, please don't forget to like this video, and be sure to subscribe to our channel to watch more amazing videos.